You're watching NFL Daily, presented today by Manscaped. Father's Day is just around the corner. If you want to be a father or just to be someone's daddy, you should use Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping on all their top men's grooming products at manscaped.com/chat. First story of today, Aaron Donald has gotten the bag in a record-setting way from the Los Angeles Rams. A new deal that replaces the previous final 3 years left on his contract. $95 million through the 2024 season. In total, over the final 3 years of his deal, Donald gets a $40 million raise. Now, the details of the contract are fairly straightforward. 3 years, $95 million. $65 million of that is quote-unquote guaranteed. The way this contract pretty much sets up is Donald can retire, and there's no real financial penalty if he wants to retire after the 2023 campaign. If he decides to play in 2024, there's another $30 million as part of this deal coming his way. There are also two void years tacked onto this contract. So the $65 million covers the first 2 years of the deal, and if he decides to play in 2024, that base salary pretty quickly guarantees. So it's not technically a fully guaranteed contract, but from a practicality standpoint, it pretty much is. If he wants to play, of course. So grade the Aaron Donald deal for me. A, B, C, D, or F. How do you feel about the NFL's best player getting a new record-setting contract? Over to Odell Beckham, a potentially former Los Angeles Ram. He is still unsigned. Report from Armando, I think I'm going to mispronounce the last name, Salguero. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry. Works for Outkick now. 4 teams interested in Odell Beckham, who is unlikely to be ready to play in Week 1 after he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl. But OBJ had begun to rejuvenate his career with LA. He looked more like the original version of OBJ, or at least closer to it. The 4 teams linked. The New Orleans Saints, with Jarvis Landry making his pitch for a team that doesn't really need that much receiver help at this point. The LA Rams, head coach Sean McVay himself says he wants Odell Beckham back. The Colts, with OBJ himself saying he wouldn't mind playing with Matt Ryan. And the Cleveland Browns, which would be oh so interesting given how badly that ended. And I don't think there's a lot of love lost between OBJ and the Browns organization. I still think the Rams ends up making the most sense because OBJ was working with Matthew Stafford. It was working in LA, and he was playing really, really well before that unfortunate ACL injury and was really balling out in the postseason. Now, these stats here, the 593 yards, do reflect the postseason. In total in 2021, including his time with the Browns before he got cut, he had only 537 yards. A 1,000-yard receiver is valuable, but 2019, 2018, that was not the opening of his career, Odell Beckham. Looked like he was going to be one of the best receivers in NFL history. He was on an unbelievable pace and then has very much cooled off. Then injuries playing a big part in that. But somebody will sign him at some point. This is not Antonio Brown after all. So make your predictions. Who will end up signing Odell Beckham? This question is the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. More contract talks here, this time around to Kyler Murray, as Murray showed up to OTAs and will be at minicamp as he continues to look for a new deal. Now, Murray has 2 years left on his contract. Despite that, like many young players, he wants to get paid as soon as he possibly can, and Murray is eligible now for that new contract, and it will be very, very expensive if and when it ends up getting done. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated had some new information on the Murray situation. Quote, here's what he wrote. My understanding is there was never really bad blood between Murray and his coaches, or even GM Steve Keim, but he felt like he needed to be aggressive in pursuing a contract, and he was promised repeatedly that the team would try to get an extension done in the summer. So now the ball is in owner Michael Bidwell's court. And Murray is actually in position to benefit from having waited with Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, and Matthew Stafford having done mega deals since Murray's agent Eric Burkhart dropped the infamous pre-combine statement laying out where the quarterback's camp stood. We'll get to the potential contract value here for Murray, but first, will this actually happen? Will the Cardinals get a long-term deal done with Kyler Murray this offseason? Make those predictions for me. Y for yes or N for no. Now, from a per-year perspective, I think you would anticipate Kyler Murray getting upwards of $41 million per year. Derek Carr got a big-time deal with not as much guaranteed, with kind of a guarantee after this year that kicks in to make it more in line with other franchise QBs. This is the going rate for franchise guys at the quarterback position. It's going to command $40+ million if you think he's the guy. And if you don't, maybe you should trade him. Now, I don't anticipate Murray getting a fully guaranteed deal like the Browns perhaps somewhat questionably gave to Deshaun Watson. More on him in a little bit here. But I think you could expect a $40+ million per year deal with $125, $130 million guaranteed. That's the market for franchise guys. And you just got to wonder, though, is Murray the franchise guy? Like, I think he is. I think he will be. And I would have felt a lot better if he had not, to be blunt, struggled down the stretch. The last 7 games following the injury, Murray did not play like the franchise guy that we saw glimpses of and have seen glimpses of in the past. So keep that in mind for Murray. I do think, whether it's this year, next year, or some point soon, former first-round pick, someone's going to pay him big-time money. Manscaped has lost the Platinum Package 4.0, their best deal yet. $123.99 with the 20% off and free shipping you get when you use when you go to manscaped.com/chat. All of the items together is a $256 value. So we're talking a massive amount of savings here. You get the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Ultra Premium Body Wash, shampoo and conditioner, deodorant, and you get the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver ball spray toner, and the most comfortable boxers known to man, and the travel bag. There is a massive amount of products as part of the Platinum Package. This is the best deal that Manscaped offers. If you want in on this with a 20% off and the free shipping, head over to manscaped.com/chat. That link will be in both the comment section and in the description of today's video. Let's talk to Deshaun Watson now. This one, not great. Watson now faces 24 lawsuits at the moment. And per Deshaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, the NFL has finished its investigation into him. Now, the 21st lawsuit was expected to come today. That ended up being the case there. Again, it's not particularly great. There was a note from Peter King. I think it was Mike Florio. July 1st is the date set for the pretrial discovery and the civil lawsuits going on right now. But the NFL allegedly has finished its investigation. So in theory, there should be a decision soon. I want you guys to make your predictions here. How many games will Deshaun Watson be suspended? Let me know in the comment section. Be honest with me. What you will, not what he should, or what you think the NFL will end up doing. Get those predictions in for me in the comments. And we did go more in depth on this, by the way, on yesterday's NFL Daily, our rumors and news roundup from Sunday. If you guys are subscribed, I'm sure you've watched the video. If you haven't, you can go check it. Thumbnail looks like that. I'll put the link in the comments, the description as well. Make sure you are subscribed. That way you guys don't miss out on any video here at Chat Sports. On YouTube, it's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Let's move to a unique story, and I am so mad that Jack is not here. Intern Jack, big-time Patriots fan, because he'd be mad about this one. Report out of The Athletic is that Matt Patricia is the favorite to handle offensive play calling in 2022. Josh McDaniels leaves and goes to the Raiders to be their head coach there. And the Patriots have no official offensive play caller. Instead, some Bill Belichick, some Matt Patricia, and some Joe Judge in charge of running a lot of the offensive drills and whatnot. So at some point, I mean, you're not going to let Mac Jones call his plays. Somebody has to be the offensive coordinator. Making Patricia the OC, or at least the play caller, whether he has a title or not, is pretty funny to me because he has not been an offensive coach since 2005 We're talking over 15 years, almost a defensive coach lifer with the Lions as head coach, Patriots DC, safeties coach, linebackers coach, was briefly an assistant offensive line coach and an offensive assistant in 2005 and 04, was a Syracuse offensive grad assistant. It was the Amherst defensive line coach, and then the RPI engineers as a grad assistant as well. He is not an offensive mind. So this would be rather interesting, funny, unique, potential disaster for New England if Patricia is the play caller. Joe Judge, I am sure, will have input. I think Belichick will too. But this is unorthodox by New England. So give me your one-word reaction. In the event Matt Patricia, former Lions head coach, the nerd, is indeed the Patriots OC, what's your one-word reaction? Drop it for me in the comments section. Lions fans going to love that one. Dalton Schultz, some news here as we talk OTA holdouts and whatnot. He is skipping the rest of Cowboys OTAs, unhappy with the contract talks that haven't really been going on very much between Schultz and the Cowboys. He wants big-time money. The Cowboys don't pay that, even to guys that they like. I think you got franchise tag year coming up for Schultz. Then he leaves next year in free agency. 3 notable names are going to show up, though, to mandatory minicamp. Aaron Rodgers, back after skipping OTA, so too will be Tom Brady. Kenny Moore and Isaiah Wynn, 2 players who want new deals. They'll be at minicamp because they face fines of almost $100,000 if they don't show up. Yeah, they ain't going to pass on that money at all.